Welcome to the Brand Lincoln Podcast, the show where we dig into the stories behind Lincoln's most inspiring business owners and influential people. It's where big ideas and even bigger personalities collide. Proudly sponsored by Perch Merch, your one-stop shop for screen printing, embroidery, and promotional products that make your brand unforgettable. Call us at 402-217-5212 or visit us at perch-merch.com to give your business the glow-up it deserves. And don't just listen, be a true multitasker. Like, follow, and subscribe on whatever platform you're tuning in on. And check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Brand Lincoln Podcast. We're basically everywhere you waste your time. Let's get inspired, Lincoln. The stories start now. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Brand Lincoln. I am your host, Chris Beecham, joined by my co-host, Henry Schmidt.
Hi, Chris.
And co-host, Jokers. Producer, Joe, whatever you are anymore.
Co-producer.
I'm a little tired today, Chris. I ran the Lincoln Marathon.
I saw your video. You did not.
Well, I ran the music for it.
I saw your little, yeah. Were you really the DJ?
I DJ'd for a block of it, yeah.
What'd you play?
Oh, all
like
the
slow
hit.
Music?
No. Eye of the Tiger. We Are the Champions.
Yeah, just Rocky playlist.
It's all the big pump up stuff. Just like that song "Pump It Up" from the hit movie The Substance. No.
So today, speaking of music, though,
there you go.
So today in the Perch Merch studio is Billy Dha Kidd.
How's it going, guys?
Who's a serial entrepreneur, author, musician. Oh man, he kept naming them.
Coach, author. You said author already.
Okay.
Yeah, investor.
Oh my gosh.
So
a little bit of everything.
So let's go through it then.
Yeah, let's go.
How'd this all happen?
So the music really is to blame for all my craziness. It's always been a passion. It's my therapy is what I call it. But basically, essentially, Nira Music LLC is what I started. This was 15 plus years ago or something.
Can I ask what kind of music?
Hip hop.
Hip hop.
Yep,
Okay.
Hip hop. Yep. And really, I actually got signed with a major out of California. Of course, I had to find out for myself, like, these labels don't do what they say they're going to do. So,
but you were living on the world there for a second.
Yeah. Yeah. I got signed and everything. I had to get a lawyer involved to get me out of the deal. But long story short, it was a great thing because I took it, with my own hands at the end, right? Like I went in and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sign myself. And I started my own record label. Honestly, it's the hardest thing you could ever do, but it's the best thing you could do. Is no middleman is what I always call it. Any business. And so I learned how to do taxes. I had to file the LLC, let's back up a little bit, accounting, like all these different things that you had to do, insurance, right? Like there were some shows that I would have to get specific insurances for the venues and stuff like that. So without me knowing, and then of course the number one thing was marketing and sales. Like I had to sell myself. You're talking, this is even before that, like, my MySpace.
Oh, boy.
I was already doing videos, at that time, doing videos and just blogging and different things. So
you're kind of ahead of your time if you think of it that way, because I don't remember doing videos on Henry, you probably have no idea.
I know what we're talking about.
MySpace. He's like, what is that?
Like, that's the private room I have in my house.
Yeah. Where all the cool people hang out.
So how were you always like musically gifted as like a kid, or?
So great question. I think as a kid, I always knew I was going to do something with entertainment. Maybe not so much music. I was thinking like acting or, I do recall though. So I'm from El Salvador.
Okay.
And in El Salvador, the little town that I grew up in, it's kindergarten all the way till 12th grade, all in one building. So like the seniors, we'll call them, and I don't know if it was a joke or not, but they used to give me coins for me to perform for them as a third grader or whatever it was, right? Like I would sing for them, whatever it was, and they would give me coins. So I do recall that. So I feel like that was kind of
the start of your entrepreneurial.
Yeah, that was my first time I got paid for a gig. So
no kidding. That's kind of awesome. So when did you come here to Nebraska?
Yeah, so Nebraska, this was...
And why?
2000. Okay. And so I had no choice. California is where I won't say grew up, because I feel like I'm a Husker at this point, right? Like a couple decades in, almost 3, I guess. I'm a Husker fan. honestly, I would do it again. There's so much opportunity out here, especially in the stuff that I do, like investing in real estate. I mean, there's so much. There's people that move to Nebraska from California, right? Like to come invest here. So I would do it again in a heartbeat. I do like to get away and go on vacation and all that, but we just built our dream house in the country. That's if you want peace, you're gonna find it there, and that's been like so. It's one of the biggest gifts, honestly, from all the craziness that we do. So
that's awesome, though. That's great,
so I'm a Nebraska dude, man. At the end of the day,
we'll take as many as we can get. I mean, we're not gonna tell anybody no at this point. Okay, so let's go to the author thing. What's that?
Yeah. So I wrote a book called The Power of Being Uncomfortable. It all came from essentially, when I first started, I remember seeing people that were doing great, right? And I honestly, there was times where certain individuals would actually maybe tell me, oh, yeah, this is where I order this from, but don't tell anybody, right? Like, and I don't know if it was like a generation thing or what it was, but I recall I would run into that a lot, right? Or I would ask certain entrepreneurs something, and so
nobody wants to give up their secrets,
right? Exactly. And but one thing I will say is that the more people you help, the more comes back to you. And sometimes, the thing is, can I cuss in here? Okay, because what I say is like,
we gotta make it count, though.
Yeah, there you go. Well, this one might be not too fun. There'll be some later, but I always say like 1 out of 10 people you meet will be an asshole, right? Like it happens. It's human nature. Like humans, we're not. My mom was wearing a shirt yesterday that said "More dogs, less people," and I'm like, man, that's a campaign I could get behind. But anyways, you can't blame the bad ones. Because there's also great people, right? Like this table right here, we're all great people, right? Like, but there's always the ones.
We try to be.
That's all we can do. But anyways, I bring that up because I've also ran into that now that I'm doing coaching, right? Like maybe I'll coach somebody and then all of a sudden they're not the best human being, right? But then what I love about it though is that they do leave a little better, and maybe not. I shouldn't say coaching because I'm talking more individuals. Will say that maybe you rub elbows with, and at that time they just don't understand you, right? Like me, they don't understand what I'm trying to do and stuff. And so then basically they're just shitty people, right? Like, but then there's the other 9 that grab what you teach them and run with it, and then they change their life. And like I said, even the other people, you leave that one seed. And so that at the end of the day, I'm very grateful for that I can leave a little seed, even in somebody that maybe it's not doing too well. I gravitate to those people too, because I feel like that's what coaching is. I do have clients, I do one-on-ones. I have off my book, I have a mastermind called a Get Uncomfortable Mastermind, where we've taken.
We went from author to coach there,
yeah,
real quick.
Because it's all one, it's all one.
So it's a business coach.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, mindset, business. Yep.
Got
Success.
It. Go. Continue on.
No, and please, any questions? So the mastermind came from the book. It's The Power of Being Uncomfortable. So then the mastermind is called Get Uncomfortable Mastermind, which is essentially that, right? Like, hey, let's actually take action and do the stuff. And
hang on, before we move on to the mastermind, the Get Uncomfortable book. What's the title based on then?
It was my story, I will say, of how I did what I did. And it's from music to the investing, like everything that I do into one, right? Even like the podcasting that I do, I talk about how the first time it was very uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. But or when I first got in the studio for the first time, it was uncomfortable. But now I'm actually a songwriter. Like you become an expert by getting uncomfortable.
Sure. Put yourself out there.
Exactly. Taking action, and really, it's a thin book. There's so many great books out there. I'm a book junkie, really. But this one, I tried doing like a quick read for somebody maybe who has never read like a mindset book, or just people that don't read in general. But this, you could read it in an hour or two, is what I've heard from people. And I'm in. So far, it's good. Yeah, I forgot to bring you one.
That's okay. Bring it next time.
Maybe I'll have you print, my new
I'm already
copies.
imagining what it's about, and it's exactly right up my alley.
Yeah,
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
And you're talking cold baths, like, we do all that, like all that plunges, like all that. And it could be, and those of you who are listening, and people that are listening, it's even as simple. I even took back to where I used to have my 9 to 5, and it's as simple as like, most people are so comfortable that they drive the same route every single day and come home the same way. And it's like, why not take another road, right? Like, we're always rushing and all that. Like, no, let's get uncomfortable. Let's enjoy life at the end of the day. And so it could be as simple as that. Or when you go to a restaurant, order something new. Like, you go to whether it's fast food or an actual restaurant, sit down and you go straight to what you know. It's like, no, let's order something crazy, something different. And that, I mean, it's simple, but that's growth. And I know it seems crazy, right, overall, but in the bigger picture, if you start practicing those little things, then you essentially grow into a different person.
Baby steps.
Exactly.
Totally get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, the restaurant thing, that's almost fascinating because everybody does that,
You do that.
Listen, I said everybody does that. I just said it.
Now I see why you're trying to buy my book.
Yeah.
Just play.
I was like, man, there's a lot of times I want to, try something else.
But you know what you're going to
but
get.
It's like, it sounds risky.
Yeah, right. Right.
I know I like this.
Yeah. Yep. And like I said, it's the thing is, if anything, you're gonna have at least a good memory at the end, and that's what life is about. Even if maybe you don't like the thing that you order or whatever, but it's gonna be a good story to tell. You know,
no story
and
starts off with I got my normal cheeseburger.
Yeah, and the same thing happened.
It's like, hey, I order a cheeseburger, add beans. I don't know, I'm just making something up.
It's always the
Get uncomfortable. No.
no, it's always the chicken wings at Brewski's. But they're so good, I don't want to get anything else.
Yeah. They have some crazy flavors too in certain spots.
Well, hey, slow down, man. I can't do too spicy.
Right. Yep.
So what came first, like the book or the coaching?
So the book, I'm gonna just say it out here that so I think of myself as a creator. So when I do the podcast, the book, the music, all that's creation to me. It's therapy. It's literally, and then the nice thing about it, guys, is that you could use that as marketing tools at the end of the day. So like the book, I wrote it, and then now it's like a business card, right? Like it's better than a business card. And guys, like whoever's listening, like you could be a contractor like me, right? Like I own a contracting business. It doesn't matter. Like you could write a whole book about contracting and what you've learned, and then I guarantee you that you're going to stand out more by giving a book than a simple business card. And so the book came first. And I also want to point out that, make sure that you, like, I take like the coaching very seriously. These are like people's lives that we're talking about, because I feel like, I don't know, just the last year, I'll say, I've seen so many coaches pop out of nowhere, locally and all this stuff. And I think, I'm going to say it, right? Like, if your life is not straight, then why would you think that you could coach somebody, right? Like, let's make sure that your life is situated first, right? Like, I've had my own coaches as well, right? And I chose coaches that I saw that they had a great marriage, not just forget the business, right? Like just the principles at first,
the
right?
Core.
Exactly. So I think I don't, it's not a light title to say that you're a coach. So, anyways,
you are 100% right on that, though. That is the problem. The word coach, has now, almost has a bad.
Yeah. There's people that are like, hey, I started a business and I work at Burger King, which is great. Been there, done that, right? Like, but how about get that situated first and then teach us, right? Like what you can do, not just how to start an LLC, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like,
or I'm just going to bother you every day to make sure you made 50 phone calls. Like that's okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's harsh, but I'm Mr. Uncomfortable. I like to get like I call it uncomfortable conversations.
But that's good because then that's
is the truth. People don't like it.
That's growth. That's what
then
you're
going different from every other coach.
Yeah,
that's just doing the same thing. Over
yeah.
and over again. I was like going to say my LinkedIn inbox tells me every coach is the greatest, and I'm just flooded.
Right.
Need a coach?
Yeah.
Actually, I got a coach.
Yeah.
So I got a coach.
So what's funny? One of my mentees actually, right before he joined my mastermind, and then he went through the one-on-one coaching that I do, and he's killing it. By the way, he had close to 6 figures last month for the first time ever. And he said that it's because of the coaching that we've done and all that. Anyways, he, and I love him, he actually went through and like Googled me. And he's like, dude, I Googled you. And this was, you're talking years back, right? When he first came in, and he's like, dude, you have stuff from 2 decades ago out there. He's like, so I know I could trust you.
So you put in the work that you've been grinding and doing this.
And I think you got to have the experience, right? Like, let's do the thing is, like, I'm getting experience now. You know, I'm not like you. That's a whole other story. But there's people out there too that, oh, I know this and I'm an expert in this. It's like, dude, I'm a student. You know, there was a conference where there was a millionaire talking, right, on stage, and then there was a billionaire taking notes.
Oh.
And, you know, that's I think you have to be a student at all times.
You always have room to grow.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Or you always have something to learn from someone else, no matter who they are. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. And so the mastermind came about that, and I will say, you know, all the members in there, they're not the same people anymore since they came in. You know, it's a blessing to see their growth. I mean, you're talking, there's a couple that have hit over $1 million in their company now. You know, when they first came in, maybe it was just them, and maybe that was it, honestly. And then all of a sudden their wife quits their job. Now they're working for the company. And, you know, now the company just had $1 million last year for the first time ever. And so all those things are fulfilling. And then what's crazy is that while all that's unfolding, my life is just, my businesses are doing great, right? Like, you know, I have a great wife. We were just blessed a year ago with my baby. It's funny, she's a year almost and a half, and I have a 17 and a 14-year-old, right? Same marriage. We talk about marriage, right? Like in the mastermind, and how to be a better father. I'm learning and I'm trying my best, but there's also little things that I've done, you know, to be a better father than most. Like, I come from like a single mother home, right? Like, I've never even met my dad. So that basically pushed me to be a better father. But those are the stuff that we have to account for. Like, it's not just, you know, I always say you have to become a 7-figure person before your business does that. And a lot of people don't see that. And then they wonder why their business doesn't elevate. And, you know, that's where I kind of come in as a coach or whatever and see what's going on.
Well, I have seen, a lot of your social media stuff, and it's just motivating, period. You're not just motivating your clients. You're trying to do the whole, you know, help everybody at some point. Yeah. Which I assume that's what the podcast that you do. Tell us about that.
Yeah. $1 Million Hustle. So it's essentially what I just said is you have to become a 7-figure person before you can get to that 7 figures in your business, right? And a lot of people don't like that, right? Like, they don't want to hear that. It's like, hey, I mean, you have to read a few books there, put the time, right? Like, let's go for a run. Like, if with me, you know, I run every day, and, you know, I listen to a podcast, or I'm always, like I said, I'm always being that student. There's been times where maybe like a 15-year-old boy has asked me, like, hey, dude, can I take you for lunch? And to me, that's awesome to see like a kid doing that. So I'm like, dude, let's go. And all of a sudden I'm there like, what can I learn from this kid? You know? And so the $1 Million Hustle is really, I try to interview people, right, that are doing great things, and just really, honestly, selfishly, is a learning tool for myself. But then also, I hope that these recordings, you know, get out there and touch at least one person, right? Which is awesome. Like what you guys have going on here, man. This is
we're
awesome.
Also very secretly selfish on gaining all the information from our guests and stuff, and it's been great. What I was going to ask, what kind of so business owners or just
so I've had anybody from I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets, from like real estate investing, you know, all the way to like Tim Story, who's like a life coach, you know, and then really locally, you know, I was just telling you guys, I just released the GP Customs one today. There's a few other local investors or people that we have interviewed. So yeah, a mix. You know, I do a lot of Zoom, but then also you can't go wrong with these, right? Where we're looking at each other weird and awkward. But
I take the in-person over.
Nobody can say we're like 2 inches away from each other.
Yeah, you're like your knees touching my knee.
Our faces are.
I said get uncomfortable, but
me and Joe are sharing a blanket.
Yeah.
You're getting a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
Would you like some more popcorn, Henry?
I need this. Pass the candy, Joe.
So, okay, what else we got? Real estate investor.
Yeah.
You flip houses, or what do you?
Yeah. So mainly, I see it as like if you want to get rich, flip houses. If you want to get wealthy, then keep them. So I'm trying to get wealthy. I'm staying wealthy, right? Like that's my main thing. But the last couple years, I really, one of the lessons any investors listening is like do what the market tells you to do. And the last couple years, it's told me to flip these houses. But we have grown our portfolio as far as like the multifamily. Those are working pretty good for investing in the long term. So doors, we're like at 70 doors right now or something like that.
Mainly in Lincoln or
all over? I stick to Lincoln.
Stuff you can see.
The thing is too, guys, like there's all these, there's all these like gurus out there, right? Like, oh, no money down and this and that. And then again, you look at kind of where they're at and it's like, I don't know if I want to go through all that. Guys, like just keep it simple, stupid, right? Like just save up the freaking money. Like I know most people don't want to do the work, but do the work, save the money and invest in real estate. Put your 20% or whatever it is that you need to put down. A lot of people want to do all these shortcuts. And yes, can you get, then you start learning, right? But then that comes from actually doing it. So, again, nothing, I see it as like, let's do the most boring thing we could do with investing. And that usually pays back really well. I also do hard money lending. I forgot to mention that.
Well, heck, let's talk. I need money. What is hard money lending? I kind of know, but
yeah. So essentially, we're kind of the middleman,
if Henry. No, let's say Joe.
Do you work for the mafia? Is that what?
Kind of, probably.
Hard. Yeah. You got to be hard.
Yeah. If Joe decides he wants to flip a house, right, he would come to you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Joe wants $50,000.
Yeah.
Walk us through the conversation.
Yeah. So actually, here's what's nice about it. So let's say really 50,000, you can't really find anything anymore. We'll say $100,000, and that you might get lucky with $100,000. But let's say you find a house for $100,000.
Oh, I was saying like as the 20%.
So that's what's nice about hard money is that we don't need that. So as a hard money lender, you come in and say, hey, I found this house for $100,000. It's worth 200, we'll say, right? Just making
it's a
numbers.
Dump, but we're going to get to 200.
Exactly. We'll fix it up. It'll be this much to fix it. So I come in and I don't care what your credit is. I don't care who you own or whatever. Like I care about this deal. I go straight for this deal. So if I take a look and say, okay, yep, this house is worth that. You're buying it for $100,000. Then I'm going to say, here you go. Here's the $100,000, right? We go to closing just like a normal bank. We put our paperwork like the normal bank. You pay a fee for like a bank. But if you go to a bank, then now you're going to need 20% down, right? And then maybe you don't have that, right? That would be $20,000. And then maybe those $20,000 is what you're going to use to fix the house anyways. So that's what's nice. Now, comparing it to a bank, we're nearly basically double the interest rate because these are short-term loans. These are up to 6 months.
That's it. So you're with the intent to flip.
Exactly.
Okay.
Intent to flip or to keep it. So if Joe's like, hey, you know what? I want to keep this house to rent it later. Well, most banks aren't going to give you money when the house is beat down like that, right?
Yeah,
like they're scared.
Yeah.
They're scared. They're like, oh man, So that's the filler that we come in as a hard money lender, right? So New Era Lending is so it's funny. Like I said, I'm not a guru or nothing. My businesses are boring, man. I have New Era Music, where we do music. New Era Construction. What do you think my real estate company's called?
Wait, I got this.
No spoilers.
New Era
Real Estate. Literally, New Era Real Estate. And then now we have New Era Lending. But also,
How'd you come up with that name?
Genius. That's the hats I used to wear.
It's one of those where also just keep it simple, stupid, like I said earlier, right? Like it's branding, so I'm hoping that whatever else we do next is just New Era, whatever. And then honestly, that now we're talking legacy at that point. My goal is to set my kids up, I had nobody that like gave me money or nothing, you know. So I'm hoping to change that and basically have them come in and say, hey, Dad, you know what? I want to do new era, whatever, right, at that point, and hopefully keep that flowing. So we're talking branded so that way you can do that in the future. You know, and so my new album I'm dropping next month, actually. It's called From Generational Curses to Generational Wealth is the name of the album. And literally, I recorded this thing in 2 weeks. You know, it's been something that's been in my head for a while. I just upgraded my studio, my equipment. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this, right? So I did it. And we have songs on there called self-titled, right? Generational Curses to Generational Wealth. I have... big investments. I have self-development. There's a song called Self-Development. So in that like realm, we'll call it big goals. I have a song called LLC. You know, just really
like,
who I am
it's like
now.
business rap.
Yeah.
No, literally, yeah.
So after you sign the papers, make a deal, you sign them a copy of the album as well.
And then it's funny, I actually did a song called Flipping Houses. And that song was just supposed to be a commercial. And again, I'm just a marketing geek. So like my hope, and it's happened before, and I can tell you a little more about that. But like with Flipping Houses, somebody out there is flipping houses, putting it on their Instagram and their story.
Oh yeah.
So they're gonna search that, and my song comes up.
Yeah.
You know, so it's marketing. It's just marketing. So it's funny. I did a song called Kobe Bryant, which is just about that, right? Like, and if you go to what's it called, TikTok, there's like 500 plus videos, you know, by people doing, and there's some big names in there that have done some stuff. Yeah, the sound on the back. So awesome. It's all marketing, you know, it's all marketing. But like I said, I love doing it, and so it's like mixing all my worlds, you know, into that.
LLC.
Yep.
Yeah, come on, give us a line from LLC.
Man, so many lines in there. So let's see, it's April 15th, gotta file my taxes. Little boy, stop it. We in different brackets.
I love it.
About I can keep going.
What number album is this?
So it's funny, I don't even know. I think it's like 12th, 11th.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So I've put
You've been
in
in the game.
Yep.
Because going back to that, we were talking before the thing, like you've
some big names out there. Yeah. So
Kevin Gates.
Yep. What's the word I'm looking for?
Features. Yep. I've done some stuff with like Kevin Gates or some music video out there. We actually recorded that in Lincoln, which is pretty cool. Flew to Houston to do the music video. A few months later, this was a few years back. But otherwise, I got a few features. I got a song with Baby Bash. You know, if you don't know, it's that Sugar Sugar, how you get so fly. You know, so that I'm sure you've heard that on the radio or whatever. So artists like that, I have a lot of that. I was saying earlier, I see it as like real estate at the end of the day, as a business. It's investing. So I invested in these names. So therefore, now I'm getting paid for that investment, right? Like royalties. Matter of fact, the first album I ever did, I was 16, and I'm getting royalties from that now. You know, so it's pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
Well, I had to fight the label, like I said earlier, to get it back, but I did. So the nice thing with music, and I encourage any entrepreneurs out there, and it's the same with the book, podcast, you know, with the music, create a product like that. That's a lifetime product is what I call it. So like my music is lifetime. Like I pass away, my kids will be able to grab that product and still keep it in stores, right? Digitally, whatever the case might be, 10 years or 10 years. Hold on. I got a lot. I got more life. There you go. 80 lives. But basically what I like is that it's like real estate, because I'm sleeping and somebody's listening to me, right? Like on Spotify or Pandora or whatever it is.
Making money
and then
when
I
you're
just
asleep.
get a check randomly. Now, again, those checks, you know, even like Drake has said it before, like, I mean, and he's obviously Drake, right? But we talk about royalties aren't this big check, but they're a check. Like I could pay a few bills with what I get, right? Yeah. So
money's money.
Exactly.
It's coming in.
Especially when
you're a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. So the book, all that, guys, I encourage whoever's listening, like, just do that and be yourself. Like we all have a story. Our fingerprints are all different, you know, so we all got something to say on the microphone. Like, look at this right here.
That's right.
I am going to need that book.
There you go.
Okay.
Got
just
you.
saying.
Yep.
Okay. What? Okay. Now what? What have we not talked about? What else you have?
Man, I think
what does your construction company do?
So GC
flips houses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pay yourself.
So GC really so we started as a roofing company, and we actually had, this was back, so we actually turned 10 years this year, which is freaking awesome. The wife and I were just talking about we might do like a little party for our guys, you know, the people that have been in that business, in that realm with us. But 10 years, so really that business has been kind of, like I said, I'm a marketing geek, so that's been my business of, you know, okay, let's brand something, like, you know, so NE is Nebraska, right? But it's New Era. That's where New Era comes from. So it's like, let's represent, you know, and so
I like that.
The logo, if you look up the logo, it's very local. I mean, we are local. So it started as a roofing company, but I didn't want to name it anything roofing. I was thinking in general construction, right? So anyways, now you fast forward, we're building houses essentially at this point, concrete roofing, drywall, everything in between. And being a GC, you know, we have electricians and we have plumbers. So we just became lead-free certified from the EPA, which is a big thing. You know, there's a lot of investors out there that, well, and there's a lot of investors that do it without knowing, like, it's technically against, it's a federal thing, you know. So anyways, that's also been nice to add that to our portfolio, to our resume. But yeah, just it's art, honestly. You look at tile, you know, every time my guys do something, whether it's tile or even roofing, like there's a pattern that they follow, and it's literally art. Like you fireplaces, we do masonry too, and you look at some fireplaces that are just beautiful, you know, at the end. So it's all art. Like I said, I just create.
Got it. Yeah. So where do we find you? Where is all of this?
Yeah.
One central location?
Yeah. So BillyTheKidd.com, I would say. BillyTheKidd.com. And from there, just social media. I still do Facebook, but Instagram. And then I still push YouTube. I do vlogs and really about everything. Like I said, even with the flipping houses, you know, I with that song, I just did a video of a move out from renters who trash the place, nasty, ugly, and it's funny. People are like, "Oh my God, you know, how can people?" And it's almost like a get back, because then I'll read some, "Oh, these landlords, you know, blah blah blah." So now a lot of people are like, "Man, now I see what you guys go through." And then to me, it's like, well, that's every day, unfortunately. Like, it's just part of the business, but it stuff like that. Like I said, I just have fun, man.
Yeah, no,
I think life is boring if you don't.
A very busy person.
Yeah, yep. Keeps me busy.
But that's good. Keeps you out of trouble.
Yeah, yep.
It
sure
say.
Does. That's true.
Well, when you're not doing one of the 100 things that you've got on your plate, where do you like to go in town for recreational or entertainment type of stuff, or or restaurants or bars? Or... Yeah.
You know what? We were just talking about one of them. I like the Cigar Lounge, Capital Cigar Lounge. Shout out to Anthony. That place is nice, but really, you know, so I mentioned earlier, I built my house. We truly enjoy being at home. We put a pool back there, so that this is the first summer, so we're excited for that. But we like to travel.
Yeah.
We do like to travel. We let's see. So right now we're actually deciding where we're gonna go. We also like to do it spontaneously, I would say. Where again, it's boring if you're like, all right, well, let's get comfortable and make sure. It's like, how about, there's times where we've gone on vacation where we get there and we're like, all right, we don't know where we're staying tonight. And that's like beautiful, because, you know, you could go anywhere. Like, and we went to El Salvador actually in November, and literally that's what we did. We stayed in the car. We didn't want to book hotels. We would literally decide that day. There was a time where I met one of my uncles, and he's like, well, do you want to stay here? I was like, well, we'll get a hotel down the street. And we sure did, you know, instead of driving back to the city or whatever. I think those are the best memories you could make. So traveling with my family, my kids enjoy that, love it. My wife, and at the end, I think that's what life is about. No, seriously, try it though. I'm telling you, try it. Like,
I feel like I could do it. Yeah. I think
try it. You get dropped off and you're like, all right, where are we going?
Right, let's have
and you fun. Have trust me, some good memories at the end.
Yeah.
So traveling, stories, I would say that's our hobby. And then I could go into that. Like, you could turn that into a business, because guess what? When I went to El Salvador, I have a music video that I recorded out there. And you know, that's business expense, right? To a certain point.
Yep.
So I think
you
people
had to fly all the way there
Yeah.
for the music video.
Oh yeah,
You
no,
couldn't have done that
seriously,
here.
seriously, or vlogs. Like I did a vlog out there, so I think
New
let's
Era
get creative.
Tours or something.
Seriously,
There we go.
You could look at real estate. There's times where you know I'll go to a place and I'll look at real estate, and you know that obviously there's percentages, and I'm not an accountant, right, CPA, but look into it. You could really do some amazing things in this field legally, the right way, you know, and again, you make some great memories, and technically you're getting paid, you know.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
You know, that definitely helps. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you guys. This was awesome.
That was good, dude.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
appreciate
Billy.
it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.